Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I am JT O'Sullivan. Today, we are back. Cam Ward, preseason week 1, locked in, fired up. Let's get it going. Welcome to the QB School. Before we dive into the video, a quick reminder about the Quarterback School Patreon community. If you love these types of videos, you will love the Quarterback School Patreon community. Deep dives, the most nuanced, detailed analysis available anywhere. Hop over there, support the channel. I appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get into it. All right, Cam Ward preseason week 1, 12 personnel, a little all-stick spacing to make you throw up in your mouth here. Early, first series, no chance versus little 5-man pressure, man free spacing. You'll see it everywhere in the preseason. Okay, everywhere. The problem is that you just don't have any sort of man answer. So we'll call that a quick out or a flat. Here's the stick part of it. The spacing part of it is on the backside with the little sit and the little, we'll call it a hitch, and usually some sort of check wide. So the problem here is you catch any sort of man coverage and you've got all these static routes. You're just matching to it, coming down from the heavens, matching to it, corner pressed up, match to it. They're all static stop routes. And so you just have no answer. Now, the problem, you might say, all right, YouTuber, what would you do, guy? Well, I would take the sit over the ball and turn it into a potential juke. And I've always thought that was the easy answer to spacing answer versus man. Nobody does it, so you're welcome if you do it. Okay, but as far as Cam Ward evaluation, this is good. There is nowhere good to go with the ball. So he goes up top right, flat no, quick out no, stick no, sit. I mean, the guy's coming downhill, the guy's running and stopping, the DB's going to be there. So there's just no good answer here. He plays with a nice base. He's quick. He's sudden. I personally really like watching Cam Ward throw. He's so rotational. The dude can play really well from his back foot, super quick. And again, you can see here, he's going from our left, working the tight ends no, back to the sit over the ball. He's throwing it. There's space there, but the guy's going to run and stop, and the DB's closing. And they make a nice play. It's not a good play versus man. On to the next. Next one here. First third down, 3rd and 6. All right, we get flushed here, go to the right. This essentially becomes a glorified throwaway. Now, I don't love this rep from Cam Ward. I'm not going to be too critical of it just because I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know what the read is. It looks like he's working to our right. Okay, if he's working to our right, I think there's probably a throw there. Now, we'll talk through exactly what this play is, but there's a few things I think you can learn from this play. So the first part here is up top, it looks like we're catching a speed out. And it looks like the back is like checking. So chip and go. Down here to the bottom, looks like we're calling what I would call like a cross with a shallow. And then I think where the ball probably should end up going is to the number 3 here on what I would call like a choice route. When you see this kind of like, slow release into this area, it's almost always a choice or an option route in the league. And on 3rd down, you're going to see these types of routes all over the place. I think this is probably where the ball should go. Now, again, am I sitting here and telling you I know for sure that this is the number 1 read and this ball should go there and he absolutely did the wrong thing? No. I'm saying the route distribution here, so how these routes are distributed, to me makes it feel like you would probably start over here because you have everything coming that direction, but he's certainly dropping back, not looking over here. So maybe he pre-snap is over it. Maybe they read it differently. But if you were to play this out down here to the bottom and you were to have this with this kind of let those guys go, you become the 3rd release and go turn up here and get your feet past the 1st down marker, the ball probably could go here. Now, all that being said, as we're dropping, I think they run a little ET up top and the guard just kind of gets pushed back in our lap. Now, do I think he could hang here and work this? Probably. Again, I'm making a significant amount of assumptions. Okay, but I think if he was working down here to the bottom, the ball goes here, third down, it's probably a first down, and where the drive continues. So you be the judge of it. Now, the other thing here, footwork-wise, as he's at the top of this three-step drop, and you can see what I'm calling this little choice route here, he's already off of it. And again, I'm not saying that guard isn't getting pushed back in our lap. I'm just saying you got to play quarterback in a phone booth in the league, and that's not necessarily pressure. So I think he could hang in the pocket right there, maybe slide to the left, put it on either the shallow or the choice, and we're off to the first down. Instead, he kind of floats. Watch the drop. So 3, and then he's just kind of in a retreat backwards as opposed to anchoring on that back foot, getting through whatever the read is, and making a play. Now we get out on the edge. And the other thing about getting out on the edge here is he certainly can get out and create and will for the Titans. But you can see here, the right defensive end, 98, all the way across the field. He's a big dude. He's up in his face. Quick. Watch how quickly he closes. Hit him. So again, and then pass pro wise here, just watch the left side of the screen, the right side of the offensive line. They do a decent job of passing off the ET. I guess we'll call it not a ET. It looks like linebacker types, but the game. So as he goes up and he comes under, the guard does a nice job of getting depth and coming off of him, but now he's just pushed in his lap. And again, I'm saying if we did this again, we'd take 3, we'd anchor that back foot. Maybe we slide this way. Maybe we move a little bit to be able to come out here and hit that, what I'm calling choice route to our right side of the screen. So third down, again, you can see him looking to the right, but again, he never really gets to that choice. And maybe that choice is the 4th read, the way that they read it. Regardless, no sack, ball's not in harm's way. On to the next series. Next one here, this is a beautiful job. Little double post down here to the bottom with a cross up top. Excellent pass protection. We got all day to throw. Looks like we're playing against Virginia Tech back there. Big chunk. Let the double post clear out. Have the crosser coming across. Settle up. Now, I would make the argument here that you probably want that wide receiver, depending on what their rules are, what they allow them to do, to keep running. But man, look at that. All day back there to throw. Cam sees it, rips it. Big chunk, explosive play. Absolutely love to see it. And this is when we get going a little bit. So first thing to notice here is that Tampa can't get lined up. They've got issues. Guys are running all over the place late, whatever. Don't care. Not going to apologize for the defense not being able to know what the hell they're doing. Here's the double post down here to the bottom. And here's what I'm calling the cross. So as he comes up and works across the field, I personally think there's more space if he just comes and runs. But it looks like they give him the freedom to kind of settle up here. So he settles up, kind of stops his feet, impacts the explosiveness of the play. But regardless, this is a beautiful job, big chunk. This is a very preseason-ish play, how open it is, the timing of it. You can see the double post at the bottom, basically operate as super clears. And then again, could he keep running? I would probably hope he does. But regardless, that's a big play. And again, the pass pro is outstanding. Make sure to pay attention to the back here. This is a big two-way go on this linebacker. Back does a nice job giving us enough time. Nice job by the left guard coming off and helping us out too. But Cam's got all day back there, and then watch him rip it. Boom. Again, it's a rotational element. Boom. Throws a fastball right up on his face. Explosive, big play. Let's go. Next one, another outstanding throw. This time up top with a little A. A for anticipation. Not necessarily accuracy, but it's a nice catch. It's a big-time hookup. Love to see the anticipation from a young quarterback. Call this a little condensed speed out here. It's a cool concept they've got. Nice catch. Go down to get it. A little bit of a sinker. So concept-wise here, first, actually, let's appreciate the anticipation. So bottom of the screen or top of the screen, there's the out. He's going to throw it right there. And you can see here, speed out wise, this thing is right here. So his hands are separated to throw it. And we are running that speed out. And again, sure, would you love the ball to be right on him a little bit firmer? Yeah. But Y'all, second series, rookie, anticipation. Let it wash over you. This is really, really good. So, and again, right over the flat defender too. So it's kind of it's not just an anticipation throw. So it's one of those things where as we're up and out here, we've got this flat defender pushing out here. So you've got to throw kind of a careful ball. So as you get back and you throw this anticipation, it's got to go up and over this guy also. It's not just kind of a routes on air type of throw. We've got to deal with multiple defenders, timing of it. It's just really nice. Now, concept-wise too, I kind of like it. Condensed formation. So here's the speed out. They run it with what I'd call a corner or a deep flag. I think this is either a choice or like a little pivot right here. And then on the backside, they've got a little in. So certainly probably a left to right read here. Just a really nice job taking what's there at the start and then going and getting that thing, finishing it off. Really nice job. Dot. From the end zone, the only thing I would say here is it's one of those things where his ability to play off his back foot is a huge strength, okay, in my opinion. But it's also one of those things you can lean on and can get you in trouble too. So when I'm saying play off your back foot, I mean, oftentimes you'll see guys, maybe not on this type of throw, but on most throws, be lined up to the target and even oftentimes be getting a hitch or a slide, whatever you want to call it, towards the target. Now, that's not every throw, but on a speed out, it's much more difficult, I think, to put your back foot in the ground and kind of be falling backwards as opposed to getting kind of all your force going towards the target. And because he kind of here, I mean, you be the judge. To me, I would say he falls back a little bit, and that's probably why it dies on him a little bit. So back foot in the ground, and see him kind of, not necessarily, I don't think necessarily the jump torque is the issue. I just feel like he falls back a little bit. And it very easily could be because you got, 3 mountains in front of you. Regardless, outstanding anticipation. Next one here, another really cool concept design and throw from Cam Ward. Again, playing off his back foot, ripping that little crosser versus man coverage. Love to see multiple runaways here. Got the little short motion coming from our right to left. You're going to see the man coverage, guys running with runaways. Hit your back foot, put it right out in front of him. Just a really nice job. This is really outstanding. So that little short motion down here to the bottom, he's coming across the field. You can see what this short motion does to the defense. So as he comes across, these two defenders are trying to banjo this thing. All that is saying these two have these two. However, they sort out the release. So as he comes across here now, the inside guy pushes, and now theoretically, he's going to be a little bit out of position on this runaway. So this little short motion into a condensed kind of on top of each other set creates just a little bit of confusion for defense. I love to see that in the preseason. Help your guys get open, have runaways. And then if that wasn't there, you've probably got the curl flat to the bottom with the shallow coming to you. But again, just an outstanding job. And you can really see Cam Ward's ability to put his foot in the ground and rip it. And he just doesn't need a lot of space to throw the ball. Accurate, super rotational thrower. Just really fun to watch. And it's quick, it's sudden. Does a nice job identifying where the runaway is here. And that's not an easy throw. Back foot in the ground, quick hitch, kind of still going backwards. But he gets all those cleats in the ground. You can really see the red cleats right on the skull. All his cleats in the ground. Put it right out in front of him. Big time. Next one here. This one is a great one for Cam Ward to probably learn from. Not necessarily my video, could care less, but I'm sure that they're talking about it in their quarterback room, where this looks like a check. It looks like he checks because he thinks it's going to be a certain type of coverage. It at the snap turns into Tampa 2. I personally have no problem with this kind of idea as far as trying to attack Tampa 2. You can see him checking here. He's trying to rip that whole shot to the boundary. You're going to have to make this throw eventually in the league. He certainly has the ability to do it. I probably think he gets it a little low here, and the corner does a nice job kind of getting his hands on it. He's trying to rip that whole shot down the left side. Now, here's where I think the nuance and the detail comes into this. So he probably doesn't have the full menu of checks, meaning that he gets to what I'm calling that must outside release go. And then this is a 10-yard little out route, whether you call it a branch, out, it doesn't really matter. And it looks like he gets to cross, and we'll call this like an in. Okay, no problem with this check, especially if you think you're getting whatever their rules are to get to this thing. But at the snap, when this thing turns into Tampa, so he gets out of there and now he's rolled up and there's that kind of honey hole shot. My thing about this is that if you're the offensive architect and you're designing this play and you want this hole shot here, I personally prefer this play with a 5-yard out. And in most offenses, these are different routes. And the reason I like it at 5 is because that pulls this corner, palmsy, reedy, cloud corner up quicker. If this guy has a more vertical stem through 10, so here's the break point versus here's the break point, it allows this corner to get more into that hole shot. Okay, so, and that's where I'm saying, now, do I think Cam Ward has the ability to differentiate his audibles on where these outs are? Not yet, probably. And that could just be just as much on the design, but that's the type of detail that goes into manufacturing these hole shots. So watch the check. So here comes the check, move the back, great. Think you're going to get closed, man. You want to rip an out, slot out, great. Okay, now they go to Tampa. Boom, right there. You see the safety up top, get out of there. Okay, now I want to rip the hole shot. But now my number 2 up top is not running a 5-yard out. He's running a 10-yard out. And that allows that corner up top to sink more. So if he were to run right there at the 20 out, I think this play is a bigger hole. And again, these are my preferences. Okay? Instead of running up and doing this, because now this corner could come off here and think he's going to get that instead of getting more depth, and now he's in our hole shot. So again, at the end of the day, this is not a good throw. Corner gets his hands on the ball. Okay. If you were, the other thing you could say is, hey, don't force this. So once the corner gets a little bit of depth and he's looking at you right there and you don't love it, just get through the read. You probably throw the ball to the check down to the back. No big deal. Instead of, I audibled, I'm going to rip it, I'm going to make this play. And he's just one of those things where learning in the league what works, what doesn't work, the spacing, when I love that hole shot versus when that hole shot happens organically because of the route that's tethered to it and the depth of the number 2. But again, my guy is a gunslinger. Not going to be worried about it. Just a little low, almost a pick. Next one here, really nice 3rd down. We're going to rip a little over the ball hook to the number 3. Outstanding job. Catch a little 3 buzzy coverage. You got these static routes versus zone droppers. 85 on the right, just go get a first down, turn around, put it on him. And again, I know I keep repeating myself, but my guy can play from his back foot. 1, 2, 3, boom. I mean, that is quick, sudden arm talent. So foot in the ground, 85 just turning, lowercase a, right on the body on the break. Beautiful job. And again, this play, there are lots of variations of this type of play. I personally think it's best run like this, where these guys go up and kind of get first down depth, the interior players, and then on the outside, these routes are a little bit deeper, whether these are 7 stops or corner stops, whatever you want to call them, comebacks, it really doesn't matter. Hinges, you can run anything. I just like the depths to be different. So if these are the first reads, then depending on which guy you take, these are usually the second reads. And this one is open. I think they end up catching what I would call buzz here, where he's going out, he's coming down, a lot of space. Cam sees it, rips it. Again, a little bit of, like, we call it preseason space with how much space is out there. But just an outstanding job of rhythm, of base, and certainly of rotational force with Cam Ward. But you can see the route distribution of everything else, right? So no. If you were to work the bottom, say you were working the number 2, he got hands on, flat defender, don't like it, you would throw it over this guy out here. So really nice play, excellent execution. You love to see it on 3rd down. You love to see him kind of get into a nice rhythm here, be able to execute, put these throws exactly where he wants. Let's roll. Last one here, another really nice, well-executed 3rd down. This to me is just mesh railroad. We're going to hit the number 2 down here to the bottom on the mesh, on the shallow. a really nice, easy read from Cam Ward going left to right. So we've got that mesh coming out the backfield, whatever you want to call that route, calling a bullet, rail. He goes no, right to the mesh. So you can see here, and again, preseason, you're going to get kind of simple concepts, but here's that rail, okay, not there. It's almost always tethered with some sort of over the ball, and then here's that mesh element coming across. We'll talk about the defense here, about what they're doing as you come across here, and then here's where the ball goes. So read-wise here, just a simple 1 to 2 coming back across at us. Now, the thing to pay attention to here is the defender, I believe it's this cat right here. He does a great job of sorting this mesh out. So as the mesh comes across, he doesn't want this mesh guy to be able to hit his guy. So this guy's trying to cover that mesh across the field. So they're going to be coming together to that mesh point. So he wants to try to get in this guy's way. Well, these guys, some of them, study film too. So he's going to engage this cat and kind of keep him down, and I'll basically allow his defender to have a lane to run through. So that's why this play is not a touchdown. It's still a first down, but it's a really nice job by the defense not allowing that mesh to happen. So first thing here, let's just watch the read. The rail to the back up top as the 1. Do we like it? No. They've got us out leveraged immediately. Now watch the mesh rail. Here's that defender. Watch him get into the mesh and push him down. So that creates the lane for that defender to run through. But our guy's still wide open, right? So just a simple no to the rail, yes to the mesh, put it on him, first down. Thank you very much. Okay. Well done. And you can see here, I personally love the pedal. You know, different coaches, different people don't like it. You can see he's got a little drift to him. So left, no, right on him. Again, I really like the technique from 8 here to try to take this mesh away and get into it and allow his guy to have a lane to run through. It's kind of like basketball defense where you got to create a lane for the guy to get through the pick. Nice job. So that is a wrap. Cam Ward, super small sample size, looked like kind of rainy warm-ups, get in there on the road. Early on, things weren't as clean, but certainly got into a rhythm pretty quickly. You know, there are things he probably, as he watches this film, that he's going to be able to learn from, whether it's sitting in the pocket on certain reps, whether it's not forcing those kind of throws down the field, even on checks. But overall, you've got to be really excited about just the arm talent that you see. It looks like it belongs. It looks like he's got a legit fastball. He can certainly play from his back foot. I love how he doesn't need a lot of space to rotate and rip the balls. And then I'm sure the plays where he extends and creates will come as well. It's one of those things where this is a very nice debut. Lots of things to build from, lots of things to learn from as well. Thank you so much for hanging to the end. I will see you next time. Have a good one.